Hello, and welcome to the 41st episode of the But I'm Knitting podcast. My name is Ramona. I'm a knitter from Toronto, and welcome to my corner of the crafting world. You can find me on Ravelry as Mona Lee 81. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter. Forget about the Twitter because I really don't use it. Sorry, as Rome_Raven. So let's see. For this week, I have absolutely no cast-ons. That's okay. I have two and a half-ish works in progress is the best that I can really say for that. And I got a couple of new things that I dyed. I'm just being honest right now. It's now 8 o'clock at night on Wednesday. Usually I record these episodes by about 2, maybe 3 o'clock at the latest. I guess I just didn't feel the energy. Not that I didn't want to, it's just I didn't really want to get up to do it. So, you know what? So let's get started on what we have. So I will start with my doodler shawl. Yes. I didn't get to work on it as much as I had hoped. I was hoping to finish, almost be finished with section 1, but it didn't happen. But that's okay. I did make progress. I think I made it to wedge. I can't even remember. I put it up on Instagram too, and I keep having to look back and refer back to the page. Wedge 14. I'm halfway through wedge 14. Out of 17. So I got another 3 wedges to go for this. So I'm doing the knit along with Christy Glass. I started it second weekend of January. Yeah, that was it. And it's a Sunday only project. That's how she's doing it, and that's how I decided to do it as well. She's doing it as a knit along with her daughter and basically opening it up for anybody else who wants to do it. Me, on the other hand, I got no daughter to knit with, so. So, here is where I am so far. Is that the right side? Yeah, that is the right side. So, I was informed last week that I need to hold them up longer so people can actually get to see it. It never occurred to me, and thank you for whoever told me that. I would look it up now to remind myself, but that might mean I have to stop my podcast. I'm not certain how well I can really surf the internet while recording. So, but thank you very much. So, here it is so far. From what I managed to gather, once I finished, once I finished the wedges, I move on to section 2, and I believe that means along this edge is where I start doing that cable design on it. This is just based on the pictures, not reading off of the pattern. It's a cable looking design, and I guess that will take up the next little while. So, the needles that I'm using are Knitter's Pride, whatever the wooden ones, I can't remember what those are called, in a 4 US. Just the plain green ones. I like them. It still does a scratchy thing with the wood, but I think that's natural to all woods. So let me just show you the yarn. The yarn that I'm using is yarn I dyed myself, and I'm oh so proud of that. Starting to run low on this one. This one is Electric Mayhem Vintage Tea that I did myself. Okay, that's the original skein. The newer ones that I tried a new method. I didn't like it, so I'm going to be going back to doing it this way once I get the time and the yarn to do it. And then this one, I think I called it Antique Tea Rose or something like that. I can't quite remember, but it's like a pink. Pink with little hints of brown. So, I have a third color that has a good chance of changing, but I don't have to worry about that. That's going to be, I believe that's section 3, according to the pattern, so I don't have to worry about that just yet. So there's a very good chance it could be changing. I'm not stressing myself out over it now. So the Doodler Shawl is by Stephen West. I think it was his Mystery Knit Along for 2016. Sorry, I thought I saw a hole, but no, it was my mistake. So that's work in progress number 1. Work in progress number 2. We'll go with my socks, my fox socks. I really didn't make much progress since last time. Let's see. Yeah, if you look here, where you see that black stitch marker up to here, that's all I did. So I'm at the point. I'm halfway through the heel, and that's as far as I made it. I honestly, it's not that I can't do it, but I was too busy working on my other shawl that I found that so much more interesting. So that's what I've been working on. So this yarn is from Andre Sue. It's the Yeah, Undersea Knits. It's a sock blank that she dyed. Hold on, it's a completed sock. And in case for those who want to be remembered, it's this one. The Cute Foxes. Am I holding it up backwards? No, that's the right way. So it's the Cute Foxes. The needles I'm using, these are Addie's Sock Rockets. They have I don't know if anybody else has had this issue. Maybe it's because it's nickel, but these are the only nickel needles no, not the only nickel needles I've had. But they have a tendency to kind of bend as I use them, which is kind of unexpected. It's not that bad at such a small size of needle because I can straighten them back out, but I do have issues with it. I have had that problem with the Knit Picks options, the nickel plated ones, and those ones, they completely kept bending. It was horrible. Because it was bending, it was also twisting out of its socket. I just gave them up to somebody else. It's like, oh, I love them like this, and more power to her. I just gave them to her and said enjoy. So my final work in progress that I've worked on this week, this is where I've put in most of my time. So hold on, let me just pull out the needles. Not pull them out completely, just pull them out from where they are. It's the Find Your Fade Show by Andrea Mowry. So here it is as of now. I am more than halfway through. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Somebody sent me a message on Facebook. So I am more than halfway through the lace part before I start in the color melting of my my fourth color. Yeah, so here's where I was. Can I hold this up properly? So the progress I've made, see where this pink stitch marker is right here? I've made it all the way up to here. So that's a good amount of progress. It's been my primary focus. I don't know, I just had a hard time putting it down. I made it through TV shows and I think practically all of the Netflix series One Day at a Time, season 2. That show is awesome if you get a chance to watch it. I love it. It's probably going to be another year before I have to wait for the next season, but still, it is great. I even took a pic, put it on, I think it was Saturday night. I basically just took it and wrapped it around my neck, like I'm doing now. And notice that it's pretty much, ready to wear. Like right now, just like the knitting needles even help keep it in place. It's like, do I really need to finish this? I don't know, but I think I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm making good progress on it, but based on what I saw from other podcasters who had knit this project before, I haven't reached the point of the slog, so to speak, because the rows are just getting longer and longer and longer. So while every time I sit down to do this now, I do at least one right side row and one wrong side row at the very least before I put it down. But yeah, honestly, I haven't really felt the slog. Maybe because I just do other stuff while I do it. So so this is the current color that I'm on, and the next upcoming color. This one, I think it's Manos del Uruguay. I used it for another project I didn't like and I ripped it out, so that's that. I don't remember the color. And then I have my next color, my color after that. So that would be color 5. So this is color 6 that's inside of here. And then color 7 is still inside there waiting to be put in the bag. So I basically have just been keeping 3 yarns stacked inside of a smaller bag, inside the knitting bag, to keep track as to which one is coming up. So I never reach a point that if I start the new color that I don't have it, it's always going to be there with a project. So I'm liking that idea. I think it works out very well for me. So that is it for my works in progress. So I did dye last week Wednesday. I did 2 colors. It was honestly just messing around in the pot, just seeing what I could do. Just because I've never done it on just a little cooktop. Because what I have is a little cooktop and a stock pot, and so I was just playing around, seeing how I like working with it. I love it. It's great. Realize I'm starting to run out of supplies. I need to order more. I'll get around to that. But so here's the first one I did. So this is basically, I just pulled out a bunch of colors that I had sitting where the stocks are, yeah, I just pulled out a bunch of colors and I just threw them in the pot. So, and see what I got. So either you can see, it kind of looks like graffiti or something. Like, it just looks like a messy skin, and I love that about it. Hold on. Okay. So I have some of the color that I used for the Antique Tea Rose. That was one of the first. I put down, yeah, that was one of the first colors. I don't know if you can see it. So there's some of that up there. There's some hints of blue. There's yellow. I know I threw in some black, so that probably darkened it up a shade, like right there. That's, can you see that? Right there is like one of the huge hits of blue right there. You know, what other colors did I put inside here? I can't even remember. I think I put in some green separately from the blue and the yellow. I just like it. I honestly thought that I was kind of hoping it would have a little bit more white, but I guess I just didn't realize how far the yellow had spread when I was putting it in. So it really did take the undertones of the yellow. So like the most that you actually really do see of the yellow, the most intense, is like right there at the tip. I don't know if you can even see that. If it doesn't actually look like the colors that I'm saying, please let me know, because it could be that, because to me it looks like it should be okay based on my camera, but I'm not really fully certain. So I'm loving it. I don't even know what I would call this, but this is just like a free-for-all. We'll have to see. The other one I did was, I used the same colors for my Antique Tea Rose, the one I'm using for my Doodler shawl, but then I threw in a bit more pink in it, just to see how it turned out. It's a little bit more streaky, but it could also be because I kept I don't know. It didn't penetrate all the places, but it still turned out really nice. And the funny thing is, I did this one first, with all the colors inside there, and then after, when that was done, I just basically just took a white skein, I just threw it in and threw in the other color on top of it. So it's not as nice and as clean, but you'll see that it has the same colors as the Antique Tea Rose, but then it has some hints of like a brighter pink there, some lighter colors there. I think that's, yeah, very pale pink that's there, and that kind of stuff. So it's just a play on tones and pinks and a little bit of brown, but not much. You can't really see much of the brown. I do really, really like this shade. I think this is beautiful. And I'm trying to remember if this could have been from one of my first skeins that I dyed a DK weight yarn. I just used it to hold it. But the fact that it didn't take the color, or it took it a little bit, but not as much as I thought it would, I'm actually kind of surprised by that, because it was a superwash yarn. But, so these are my 2 skeins that I dyed this week. Woohoo! So, remember last week I said I could not find my worsted weight stash? I found it. It was hiding in plain sight. So, sorry about the noise, because it's still inside the bag that I had it in. So all of the stuff that I used for my Babel hat and all that kind of stuff, I ended up finding it. It was hanging on a board, but because the bag that it was in is opaque, you can't see through it. I didn't even realize I had the bag, that it was in there. So I found it. I'm going to put it with the rest of my stuff so I can get to figure out, probably after I finish another project, before I would even worry about doing the brioche hat. I have more color options to pick from. So I haven't really gone through it and really looked. But another thing that occurred this week, this is probably going to be my last thing to talk about for this week, is I was talking with my knitting circle about how I wanted to learn how to brioche. That was going to be my skill that I wanted to learn. So first thing I showed them was, the basic brioche hat. The one I showed last week, I'll try and put another picture in for it. And that would be a good way to start without it being something too overwhelming and difficult. And because I had to explain to them what brioche was, so they were kind of there like, So I had to explain to them and show them to them. They're like, okay, that some of them declared it was just too much work for a hat. I'm like, I want to learn anyways. So then I showed them the shawl that I want to do, and which was the reason why I needed to do the brioche hat first, because I was not going to mess up the shawl by the Half Moon Oracle. So I already showed you the potential colors for what I wanted, but guess what? I remembered at one point I was just sitting in my room and they're like, didn't I have another skein of Ravenwood Fiber Arts? Because I got two. The first one was the Honeybee Good that I used on my doodler shawl. And I had gotten another one and I'm like, where is it? So I went digging through like my stash up there and I was able to find it again. So when I do the shawl, I've determined I think I do want to use this color. I like it. It's really pretty. It's like soft pinks, blues. You got some grays. I think you got some hints of mauve and all of that kind of stuff. It's a little bit speckly, but not much. It's beautiful. So that's it. It's called I Needed More Yarn. See? Perfect. So that was going to be one of the colors, my additional color. I had already determined, because I only need like 50 gram skeins. So this, I'm trying to remember if I was going to do solids, because I have some of this one. This one is Pandora. Yeah, Pandora. This one is my leftover from a pair of socks I did from last year. It's Woolen Vines on her nylon sock blend. I can't remember what it's called. And then the thing is, then I don't know what to put with it, is really what it is. But I do want to use these two. Or if I do, then I got to find, I don't know what to do. That's honestly it. Because I want to find something good for this one. Right? I really do. And at the rate that I'm going through shawls, maybe what I should do is maybe look for another shawl pattern. And use this for that and just stick with this as my base for the Half Moon Oracle. Because it's only 50 grams and this uses up like leftover stash. And I remember my main dilemma was trying to figure out which color to use with what. And that was my primary problem because I did not know what to use with what. So it's like, which one out of these three go well with, balance, 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 this, right? That's the question. Does that look so blown out or something like that? I don't know. So it's like, which one do I use? I guess I'll just decide later. I have no idea. But, okay, I guess talking it out really did help make up my mind. So I've got to find another pattern to use. Woohoo! So, let's put this away. I do believe that is everything for this week. This is actually longer than I thought I'd be talking for. But no, because usually otherwise I'd be sitting down there, gush over Black Lightning, and I loved yesterday's episode, and Jill Scott made her appearance in all of her regal glory. She looked amazing. She was amazing. The guy who plays Tobias Whale is very good at playing a bad guy. That's pretty much all I really have to say about that. I'm looking forward to the Black Panther movie coming out. I'm probably going to see that by myself sometime in the middle of the week when there's not going to be as many people going into the theater to see that. And I believe that is everything. Yeah, that's going to be everything. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for sharing your knitting or crafting time with me. And I hope to see you again next week. Bye.